Hello. Good to see you.
Alright there, Revenants, welcome back to Code Vein, and today we've got the boss analysis here of the Virginborn, and what an analysis it is, because this thing is very cumbersome in its own right. It has multiple body parts, it has multiple weaknesses, it has multiple resistances, it has ridiculous things that go on, it has tons of AoE, and this thing has tons and tons of health, with no possible way to one-shot this thing in the max difficulty of the game here. So if you get to max difficulty, you literally have the fight of your life here to actually get through this thing. So you either need a cheese build, or you need massive damage to basically like 3-4 hit this thing in order to get rid of it. So let's get into it here. Whoops, I don't want this one. Our weapon damage is 862, so we're going to keep that in mind, and our weapon damage is 930, and then for the piercing damage we're going to use the Impaler at 1345. So keep those numbers in mind as we go through the different areas of the body here. So there are four attack points on the body here. There's a potential for a fifth, but I didn't find a fifth one. But the little arms and the big arms in the front are considered different, and so we'll address those as we get to them. So the four parts of the body that I found are the head, the body, which includes the little arms, and the big arms on the outside are a different part, and then the back legs are a different part. There are two lock-on points to the whole kit and caboodle here. So the front lock-on point is the body of the beast, and then the back lock-on point is the hind legs portion, and that is where you will do the least amount of damage, is on the hind leg portion area. You'll do a little bit less damage than the body at the front legs, and then on the body you'll do medium damage, and then on the head you will do full damage. So the resistances go as such. I better just show you guys because it's pretty involved. But we'll go for the Queenslayer blade first, and we'll see the slash values. So we should be seeing, let's see here, 862 times 0.9 times. We should be seeing 776 for the head, or 775 depending on how it rounds. We should be seeing 621 for the body, for the main body and the little arms in the front. We should be seeing, whoops, 0.3. We should be seeing 232 or 233 for the front legs on the side there, the two big ones. These here, these big legs here on the sides. We should be seeing 233 or so on those. And then on the hind quarters, we should be seeing 116 or so. And hopefully EO doesn't hit the beast, because I just need to have her take the fire for the moment. So let's see here. Wow. Okay. And let's see. Oh, me and EO hit the thing at the same time. Okay, EO, get off the numbers. Get off the numbers. Okay. 116 for the back leg. That was what we expected. Now for the, oops. Okay, and for the front leg here. Oh. Yo, don't hit it. Oh, ouch. Okay, and 262 there. So the front leg. Oh. And you can see the two lock-on points on the back and on the front. The 232, that's the front leg. That's what we expected. Okay. And on the body, if EO can stop for a second. Okay. And EO, can you stop? Okay, stop hitting it. Yeah, heal me up. Thank you. Okay. And what's it doing? Okay, and let's hit the body. 622. Oh no, we're dead. Oh, we're not dead. How nice. And now we gotta try and hit the face somehow. Okay. Oh boy, now we're dead. But Eo's got us. Look at that. That's why I brought her along. Oh boy. Okay, can I try and hit the face? Maybe. Oh boy. Okay. Oh, Eo's dead. There we go, 776. Okay, so that's how difficult it is to get all 4 values on screen here. So we got the 776, we verified that, the 621, the 232, and the 116. So those are the 4 parts of the body. You have the head, the body, the 2 big arms on the side, and then the 2 legs in the back. Okay, so now that we've gone through that pain, I can just show you the rest of the resistances here with the notepad here. So you can see that for slash resistance, we had 0 damage on, or 0 resistance on the face. We had a 20% resistance on the body. We had a 70% resistance on the front legs. And we had on the back legs, we had an 85% resistance. So you're only putting out 15% of your damage on the back legs. So it's really not worth it to do anything back there because you're using a whole lot of stamina to do basically no damage at all. So then for crush, the same thing is true for the face. You have a 0% resist on the face. You have a 20% resist on the body. You have a 75% resist on the front leg. So it's a little bit more resistant to crush than it is to slash on the front leg. But then on the back legs, you actually get more damage than you do with slash on the back legs. So if this is why I think you would want to go for crush more so than slash, because you get more damage on the back leg, because if you're typically in the back of the beast, then you'll be doing more damage. Even though it's 5% more, it's still more damage. But then we get to pierce, and the body, you take 5% less resistance there, so that's very nice. So you get a little bit of an increase there, and you get the goodness of the back legs of 80% damage there. So you're able to actually do better running a pierce setup than you are any other kind of a setup, unless you're hitting the front legs, which I think most of the time people are hitting the body and they're hitting the back legs. Very rarely are you getting the extra special chance to hit the face, because it's the entire huge thing, but you actually have to point up at it. Now you do get some lucky chances every now and then when it bends down and tries to shoot you and stuff, then you can actually hit it in the face with big damage if you can. So for the elements, all of them are at 70% flat. So that is very, very bad, because that is huge damage resistance here. And you definitely don't want to be doing any kind of elements of any kind. So you definitely want to be aware of that. Now that huge charge up where the hand goes way up in the air and comes down, that is a 2-second delay. So it's a very, very odd timing, because everything else is very quick, on the order of 1 second or less. And that attack where it rears up in the air and the purple hand comes down and smashes the ground, that has a 2-second delay on it roughly. And so that is very hard to dodge, because that 2-second timing is very, very different than everything else. And so your dodge timing will be very off as compared to what the other attacks are doing. So make sure you watch out for that one, and just give yourself a little bit of time to count 1, 2, and then dodge. And then you'll miss that hand every time, or dodge towards the back legs, and you'll miss it as well. So for if you're doing with the Queenslayer blade and you're doing 1 element, this is kind of the calculation you would run to see what you would do. So you take your card damage times any of the multipliers of the attacks. So since our first attack is 0.9, then if we actually hit it in the face where we had 0% resistance on slash, then it would be a multiplier of 1. Then if we used any element from here, then it would be like on a blood buff or ice buff or something like that on our weapon. And then remember how resistances are calculated for elements. It's 1 plus 0.2 for the weapon buff, and then it's minus whatever his resistance is. So here, since the 70% resistance comes in as a subtraction, we get 388 roughly out on a slap, and that would be the maximum damage we could do, because everything else would be less from these resistances here on the body or the back legs or the front legs. And so if we can actually get a hit on the face here, we can see that 388 show up. And so let's see if we can actually try and hit it in the face here at the beginning and see that 388 show up, and hopefully EO does not slap this guy in the face or anywhere to make the damage numbers change. So there's 1, 2, and then it, yep, okay, and he's gonna explode. Good. Oh, we almost had it there. Oh, okay. EO's gonna do that. 1, 2, and you can see there the timing is about 2 seconds. Oops. Okay, and let's see if we can get over here. Yeah, 388. We got it. Okay. Teleport back. Okay, so there's how the damage multiplier works. On the face there. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. I'm dying. Okay, so that's how one element works. And if you notice here for 2 elements, because we will be adding our resistances again, will be 1 plus 0.2 plus 0.2 for 2 weapon buffs, but then we'll have to subtract 70%, 0.7 for each weapon buff that we add. So we will be doing 0 damage basically anywhere on the thing, because this whole multiplier right here, where the elemental resistances come in, this is actually a 0. So it doesn't matter what you do over here. If you add 2 elements, you'll do 0 damage, and that's pretty hilarious when you do something like a steadfast strike with Jack and all the multipliers and everything. You could have this up to like 15,000, but then because this multiplier area here turns out to be 0, you will actually do 0 damage with something like steadfast strike. So it's pretty hilarious. So let's go back here, and I'll show you the 2 elements now. And it doesn't matter where we hit the body, because again, everything is multiplied by a 0. So it doesn't matter where we hit this guy. And you'll see EO will do 0 damage too. So there's a 0. Okay. Oh, and we did some damage there. Run away. Oh, we couldn't dodge. Okay, then let's try and get back in there. And there's a 0. There's a 362. And that's what makes me think there's another weak point in here that I sometimes slap. But the resistances, because they are additive, you get 0s everywhere, which is not good. And there's the 0s. Yo, thank you. And you can see that the 0s are just whoops. Dead. Yep. Anyways, you can see that the 0s are all over the outside of the body, but on the main body, it seems to have a different elemental resistance than the entire rest of the body. But it's only the head and only the body. So let's see if we can hit the body again and see what those damage values are. Okay. Okay. So there's a 0 on the head, which is again, there's the body again. So we do 621 on the body and 0 on the face. So actually, now that makes me curious. 621. Okay, we can solve for that. That's going to be 862. 862 times 0.9 times 0.8 on the body for slash. Yeah. Times 1 plus 0.2 plus 0.2 minus x equals 640, 641, was it? Or 642, something like that. So it looks like it has a 0% resist of elements on the body. Okay, so let's check that again. So if I'm going to solve this, 862 times 0.9 times 0.8 on the body times 1 plus 0.2 minus x equals. Okay, so we should as a basic number, what is our basic number going to be? 862 times 0.8 times 0.9 times 1 plus 0.2. Oh, so it looks like it has a 20% resist on the body to elements. Okay, so we should expect like a 621 on the body here. Okay. Oops. Yeah, 621 on the body, and we'll get like the really low numbers on the back. Okay, so 20% resist on the body, and let's see if the blood ouch is still the same on the body. 310. Nope, that is not the same. So it looks like 50% resist, or something like that. Minus 0.2 plus 0.2 equals 310. Okay, so blood is still 70% resist on the body. Okay, so let's change our little spreadsheet here, or our little thing here. 70% everywhere. 70%. 20% body. And 70% and 20% body. Oops. And 70%, 20% body. Okay, so this is what the sheet will look like now. Say hi to you. So here, this is how the element resistances go. Is 70% everywhere for blood, and then 70% everywhere except the body, and you have a 20% ice and fire and lightning resist on the body. So you still can get some damage, but typically if you add 2 elements and you're hitting somewhere on the full body of the beast, you'll most likely not be doing any damage because you'll be having this multiplier here be a 0. But if you add 2 of these could potentially be minus 0.2s because you added them, and then you'll just have the basic damage of hitting the body and this multiplier here would then be a 0.8 for slash, and crush, and for pierce it would be a 0.85, so you would get a little bit of an increase there. So if you're hit in the face or something, then yeah, this multiplier is very tricky with how it actually operates. So yeah, make sure we keep this set in mind when you calculate your damage or when you're hitting them. Okay, so then also this beast is status immune. Oh, and I want to go back real quick for this multiplier and show you guys here on the wiki page that they actually calculated it wrong. They said if you add 2 or more damage types to a weapon, you'll do almost 0 damage because of the damage calculation. 30% from fire times 30% from ice is 9% damage output. That's not true. That is absolutely not true. So doing some tests, it seems that some bodies have less magic resistance. Okay, so that is true. We just found that out, but not by much. Actually, it's by a huge amount, by 50% more. So that's good to hit the body. And if you can hit the face, that's fine. But the body is the place you want to hit for the most consistent damage. And still less than base damage, though tests are inconclusive. Well, you didn't do good tests. So this here is absolutely not true. 30 times 30 equals 9% damage output. No, that is not true, because we can see here that you get an absolute 0 from when you pair up your element resistances and hit somewhere on the body or on the legs or on the face. But if you actually hit the main part of the body on the underside, then it's based on a different multiplier here by 0.8 or whatever weapon type you're using, and then you will get these values here will then be 0.2 and 0.2, so then you'll get just the physical damage. So there's no point in stacking your elements for this boss, unless for the fact you go really hard stack on a certain element and you go in underneath and you hit only the body underneath. So for example, if you went for something like, let's see here, if you go for something like the Burning Disaster, because that has a massive fire value, and then you have a fire chrome on it, let's see, 80 minus 35 plus 5, that's a 50% damage increase there. So then minus your 20% from the body, so that'd be a 30% increase to your overall damage um, for using the Burning Disaster just as is. Then if you would use Flame Weapon, you would bring this guy up to 100, and then if you used a Flame and a something like a Wrathful Balmung charge attack, so here you would get another 5%, and then here you would get another 5%. Okay, and so now you would be at 110. So 110 minus 35 plus 5, so that'd be 80%. And then if you minus 20 from that, so you'd be at 60% overall increase to your damage. And so that might be a great way to use elements on a weapon here, is to use something like the Burning Disaster, get up underneath, do a lot of flame damage, but you would lose this 5% and this 5% pretty quickly. This lasts only for 30 seconds, this lasts for 6 seconds. So in 30 seconds you'll lose 10% of your damage, which means you'll be down to about 50% still increase to your damage overall. Now you could go for also another 10% from fire buff, so that would bring you back up to a 60% increase in your damage if you're underneath hitting the body. But you'd have to be focused like the entire time and everything. So you could go for some kind of Queenslayer setup here with the Burning Disaster and go for the body specifically underneath with an element ice, fire, or lightning, just not blood. Don't do any blood versus her or it. And you could go for some kind of element setup there, but because the Burning Disaster has the highest base fire value or element value on it base, I would think that you would want to go for the Burning Disaster, and maybe we could even try a build like that real quick with Jack and see just how that performs. Okay, so that's kind of how the weapon values go here. Let's go back to the notepad. It is status immune. You cannot affect this thing with poison, stun, slow, or inhibit anywhere. On max star of difficulty, what we're running right now, it has around 130,000, maybe a little bit more than that. So you definitely want to make sure that you're come prepared for doing huge amounts of damage. On 0 star, it has around 61,000. The wiki there you saw it. They said that it's 61,425. They probably got that value from some kind of cheat engine or something like that. But since I don't have cheat engine or anything, I can't check the exact value. But I would believe this value to be fairly accurate and fairly true. Um, Here the 70% resists. That's true, again, not all the way true. And the slash, crush, and pierce at 0% resist, that's not actually true except for the face. So you definitely want to clarify this here and say that this is face value. This is not body or arms in the front or back legs values. So be careful when you read some of this stuff here. as it's not all true. There's also another fallacy here that all spells do pure physical damage. That's not true. So that's the next thing we're gonna walk into here, and we'll get into that in a minute. But some conservative one-shot damage values that you're gonna try and go for is something like 26,000 damage on the card, but that's not possible. And if you go for the Jack Queenslayer Wrathful Balmung setup, you can get to a max value of 19,028 times 1.2 for Swift Destruction, and your value that you come up with Steadfast Strike is 114,168 damage, if indeed you get so lucky to actually hit the face where you don't have any damage resistance. If you miss the face and you hit something else, you'll do less damage, obviously. You'll do, crush damage, so you'll be doing the 20% or the 75% or the 80%. So you definitely want to make sure that you hit the face if you can absolutely help it at all. So it's really unfortunate that at max damage, it's not possible to actually get up to the 130,000 plus damage that you need to do. But okay, that's the way it goes, and that's why it actually makes you work for it here on this boss, because you just can't walk up and one-shot it. So this boss is impossible to one-shot, unfortunately. So at max difficulty, right? Because at 61,000 HP, I mean, you see here we're pretty much doubling that damage, and so who cares what part of the body we hit, we'll probably still one-shot it, except for maybe from the back here at that 80%. That will not get us the value we need. So you have to hit the body or the head and you'll kill it. But the explosions and the hand attacks, those are physical damage only. And this is where I disagree with the wiki, is that the white missiles are blood damage, but they are extremely, extremely high damage. But the good news is that they are possible to survive. So let's see if we can get a demonstration here of how the blood damage works. So here we have 47 blood resistance. So let's go ahead and see if this thing does have a couple of openers, and hopefully it will do a white missile spike attack at us to see what we can do. And let's go for the Damarung, and I'll show you here. Okay, so if we do this, and we do this, and we do this, and we do this, hopefully it'll shoot us. Come on, come on. There we go. And I can survive. Look at that. I can survive one of the blood spikes. Okay, and now if I run up here... Oh, and by the way, the amount of blood value that we have is extremely high at 165. Now the only other blood veil that can go higher is the Dawn Spear, but you see that we take a huge hit on our physical resistances as well. So even though we get a little bit more blood resistance, we pay for it in really, really bad way here with our physical resistances. So the GXL Overgear or Defender or whatever you want to call it, the best blood veil for surviving one of those blood spikes. Now if we run up here and we go for physical damage resistance, you will notice a little bit of a difference here. Okay, and if I run in, hopefully she... Oh, no, please shoot me. No, no, no. She's not gonna behave, is she? Okay. Come on, shoot me. Okay, whatever. Okay, and let's go back. So she opens with the blood spike again, and that is the problem with the RNG here, is that you have to kind of get lucky with how the openers happen. So she has a couple of openers. She has the blood spike. She has a jump. She has a couple of side swipes, and so you want to make sure that you get the blood spike here. There we go. And I can survive a little bit more, but you can see that I was able to survive with 16 damage, but this time I survived with 412. So it is physical, but however, it does have a major component of blood damage in it as well. So you want to make sure that if you're going into this fight and you're trying to do defenses, you can add on blood damage to make sure that you resist the hardest possible defenses here. Okay, and if we go for all of the above, okay, and we go for everything, hopefully she opens with a, there we go. And you see that I take 1664 damage, which is really, really nice, that I can actually almost take two of those blood spikes and still be okay. So it does have a component of blood in it, as you saw there. It was 1311 minus 412 or something. So we absorbed another 900 damage because of the blood resistances here paired up with the physical resistances. So if you're going for full defense against her, or it, whatever this beast is, you definitely want to make sure you're going for blood and like Iron Will, a Blade of Blood, Foul Blood Barrier, Juggernaut, so on and so forth. Now the problem with Juggernaut though is that you'll notice that it gives us huge amounts of elemental minuses. So if you're going for Juggernaut, you're going to have to go for something like Elemental Wall, and where is Bloodguard. So you'll have to do these as well to hopefully bring up that defense to maybe almost zero there. Not quite zero, but close. So that's really, really unfortunate that if you use Juggernaut, you're going to be hit hard with those. Oh, wow, look at that. You'll be hit really hard by those blood spikes, but you'll have exceptional defenses otherwise. Excuse me. Okay, so back here to this. So yeah, definitely go for blood and physical resistance, as you will be able to survive those blood spikes. I don't recommend just standing there and taking it, but if you have to, and otherwise, then it's definitely worth standing there and taking the hit in the face. And so let's see. And then I want to talk about, let's see, what do we have left? Oh yeah, it's status immune, okay. And then for the one-shot setups, again, you want to make sure that you are trying to hit this thing in the face at all possible. So we'll see what that kind of looks like here. Yeah, this and the Wrathful Balmung, good. And here. So this is kind of the maximum damage set that you can possibly do against this thing. Without and you have to get really, really lucky, like I said, because you have to actually hit the thing in the face, and that's actually really, really, really difficult to do. So let's see here if we can actually get it. I highly doubt it, but we'll give it a shot and see how it goes. And otherwise, the fight can prolong itself very, very hard, very, very long. Just because of the fact that you're trying to hit the face all the time, and you're not actually getting as lucky as you would like to. Okay, and good, and here, and this, and this. Okay, and this will get you the maximum amount of damage possible. And if we actually hit this thing in the face, okay, and what's it gonna do? Okay. Okay. Okay, and we missed the face, and you can see there that we did 91,000 damage, and the reason being is because we hit the body, and if we teleport back now, so if we go back to the card here, and this 19,028 times 1.2 times this, right? And then here, the 114, 168. So 114, 168, if we multiply that by 0.8, because we hit the body here, remember? And that's a 20% reduction. That was 91,334. And I didn't get a good look at it, but I think it was like right around that value, 9134 or something like that. But that just goes to show you that if you miss if you miss the body, you're missing out on like 20-some thousand damage, which is huge, huge, huge. About 25,000 or 23,000 damage or so that you're missing out on just because you missed the face and you hit the body. So it's if you're going for those one-shot setups, make sure you hit the face, because this damage value here is, you know, what you're trying to go for and trying to make sure that you actually get what you need. So sorry this has been a little bit longer one than normal, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys had a good understanding of how this went. Now, if we went for like the bayonet setup here with the burning disaster, it would look something probably like this. What are we at? 828. Okay, and this thing is a strength and dexter, so we're gonna keep this. We're not gonna run this, but we would run something like Severing Abyss. Why can't I run this? Oh, there we go. So I would run something like this, and then here I would actually go for Flame. Yeah. That would be good. That would be good. Okay. And this is why you don't want to run Merciless Reaper with this, is because you want to try as best you can. You want to try as best you can to hit the face, and if you hit the face, Merciless Reaper doesn't do anything. So yeah, that's kind of why we're going this route. Okay. Okay. Good. And now this is going to be tricky here to get Jack going and get the flame weapon up as well. Okay, good. And we'll go for Final Journey. Okay. And this, and this, and this. And we'll have to try and hit him with Severing Abyss as best we can here. Okay. And I guess here we'll go for a flame weapon. Okay. Oh, gonna miss. Yep. That's unfortunate. Yeah. Okay. And we're dead. Okay, so that was a whiff and a half there. I thought its body would come down at an opportune moment there, but let's see what the burning disaster is capable of here, as it's not used in typically most builds of any kind, which is why it's a lot of fun to see just how it can be used at different times. Okay, so let's see here if we can try this again. Okay. And we'll get Jack going here. Okay. It's kind of fun that you can experiment around with how these different builds are set up and everything to make sure that you're actually getting the most bang for your buck out of each and every build and how the setups go. Okay, good. Fun. And where's Severing Abyss? There we go. Okay, and then as soon as we get over there, we'll run our attack here. Whoa. Okay. Okay. And gonna do that. There we go. There we go. 30,000. That's pretty good. And if we go for the belly here, oh boy. Yep, we're dead. Somehow Jack can dodge that perfectly, but not me. So 30,000 is not too horrible. I was looking for my piece there. So 30,000 is pretty good for the burning disaster to actually run that attack. So we're getting about 6,000 or so, or 7,000 or so on the card, which then translates to about 30,000 because of resistances and such. And so that's actually not too bad overall, because the burning disaster, again, it's a bayonet, and to get a bayonet to do something like that, that's pretty good. So it's not quite as good as some other things, but it definitely could be a possible option here for you. So anyways, thank you all for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed the Virginborn and a little bit about how the weirdness goes here with it. But we'll see you all tomorrow.